Okay, so this video is going to be based off of some supplemental videos that I found on YouTube. Okay, there's some YouTube videos on my website on canoe and kayak ferries, which is basically that you got a river, and you're here, and you want to end up over here. That's where you'd like to end up. But the problem is that there's a flow of water going that way. And so if you just point your boat, if I just point my boat going that way, the flow of water is going to carry me that way, and I'm going to end up actually going that way. Okay, so I point my boat that way, the river's flowing this way, and we're adding vectors tip to tail, and so the actual direction that my boat goes is that way. Well, suppose I don't want to go that way. Suppose there's a big waterfall here. Now, some people might want to go over that waterfall, but in this case, I do not want to go over that big waterfall. I want to just go from this point to that point. So, what I need to do is I need to point my boat upstream. So, let's make some assumptions about how fast we can go. I would say that it's reasonable. I think that for short bursts, well, I'll say 3 miles an hour. 3 miles an hour divided by 2.24. So about, I think it's reasonable to paddle, let's say, 1.3 meters per second. Okay. So we're going to want this to be 1.3 meters per second. Now, how fast are we going to make the water flow? Well, I don't know. Let's make the water flow at, say, 0.8 meters per second. Okay, so now we can solve that triangle. We got a nice little right triangle right there. In this case, we have the hypotenuse, so we're going to say 1.3 squared is equal to a squared plus 0.8 squared. So a is going to be square root of 1.3 squared minus 0.8 squared. So a is going to be 1.3, hang on, 1.3 squared minus 0.8 squared. It's going to be call it 1 meters per second. And then we're going to say that that we've done this a few times. Oh, hang on, we don't want to use tangent this time. Tangent's not the one we want to use. We've got opposite and hypotenuse. So we want to say theta equals sine inverse of 0.8 over 1.3 second sine 0.8 divided by 1.3 is 38 degrees. Okay, so to summarize this briefly, if I want to cross to the opposite bank of the river without going downstream at all because there's some rocks or a waterfall or something that I don't want to hit, or my friends are right over here and so I just want to paddle straight to my friends, if I can paddle at a speed of 1.3 meters per second and the river is flowing at 0.8 meters per second, then I actually want to aim myself upstream. I want to be 38 degrees off of sort of the line that I want to travel along. And so if I point myself up at 38 degrees, I paddle this direction, the water pushes me back in this direction, and my boat ends up sliding across the river with a speed of 1 meter per second. So that is a little bit of math on how you do a canoe ferry. And we can also, then as long as I've got a couple extra minutes, then another thing is, suppose you've got a plane. So here's my